Say, folks, last I checked, apartheid was an odious thing relegated to the past. But it looks like South Africa's system of racial segregation is making a whiz-bang comeback. Oh no, not in Johannesburg, but in Toronto. Last week, the Toronto Sun reported that City of Toronto officials are taking applications for the city's new black mandated shelter. Translation, everyone from would-be employees to potential homeless clients could very well be excluded from such a shelter based on race. Welcome to New Apartheid. Looks about as savory as New Coke. Naturally, City Hall has decreed that experience in running a shelter is not a requirement for those submitting applications, which is to say, if you brandish the right identity politics, well, you're in like Flynn. Bye-bye meritocracy. It was nice knowing you. As for the ostensible policy reason behind such a race-based shelter, the Sun reports that the city's Shelter and Support Services Division said that the new shelter will help make Toronto services, quote, reflective of the diversity of the city, end quote. Diversity isn't a shelter excluding all races except one, the very opposite of diversity. But here's where it gets really kooky. This initiative is led by a majority of paid staff and board members who, quote, self-identify as black or are of African descent, end quote. Did you catch that? They are recruiting people who are not necessarily black, but rather self-identify as black. But what does that mean exactly? I think it means that a honky like me qualifies as a black man if I simply say I identify as a black man. Then again, that didn't work out so well for Rachel Dolezal, the former director of the NAACP chapter in Spokane, Washington. Dolezal is a white woman who has long self-identified as a black woman. This wasn't a goof, nor was it meant to be mean-spirited. Dolezal was genuinely enamored with black culture and wanted to be part of it. But she was pilloried and even bullied in both the social media and media classic realms for her false pronouncements that she was black. At this point, can someone kindly explain the rules when it comes to self-identification? Which is to say, why is it okay for 300-pound bearded Bubba to self-identify as a woman in order to play female sports or invade a female shelter? Why is such a gender-bending grifter lauded by the left? You know, trans rights are human rights. Trans women are real women, right? Yet if one identifies as a member of a different race, see that object on the horizon? That's a cancel culture asteroid heading your way. Your extinction event awaits. Just ask Rachel Dolezal. But by golly, it's also confusing, isn't it? And consider that other caveat the City of Toronto requires for employment or residency at the shelter, namely the person being of African descent. Obviously, the brainiacs at City Hall never quite thought this one through. Case in point, my beloved Lady Menzoid is originally from South Africa. She's whiter than vanilla ice cream, but by the city's own mandates, it would appear that she qualifies for a blacks-only shelter, given that she is of African descent. Wow. You know, it's also fascinating, isn't it? Decades ago, the left used to be race-obsessed for all the right reasons, be it advancing civil rights for minorities or bringing about the end of the odious system of apartheid via the original BDS movement of boycott, divestment, and sanctions. These days, the left trots out the BDS treatment for Israel, you know, the only true democracy in the Middle East. Meanwhile, on the home front, the loony left is all about revitalizing apartheid. That's right, suddenly discrimination is back in vogue due to the unholy trinity of diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is gross. This is madness. And really, when this shelter gets up and running, it will prove most fascinating to see how this travesty plays out. Which is to say, on a frigid winter day, will the people running such a racist shelter actually turn away a freezing and hungry homeless individual because that person is, say, Asian or indigenous? Really? Wow. Talk about compassion. Folks, too many of our cities and towns right across our great dominion are just being ruined by woke, ideologically driven politicians, turning a blind eye from everything to homelessness, to violence, to heck, even chance for genocide. Are you sick and tired of this? We sure are. Please go to our new petition, fixourcities.com. That's fixourcities.com. Sign the petition. And by the way, while you're there, if you're able to, kindly make a donation so that Rebel News can continue to bring you the other side of the story.